As Robert Greene explains in The Art of Seduction, seduction is a feminine art form. Women are the natural masters at it, while men must try to catch up if they know what's good for them. As such, game, or the study of dating strategies, is simply a means by which men may try to even things up somewhat and attain the natural level of skill enjoyed by most average women. A great example of this is women's talent for self-mythologizing. This is a means by which women have bewitched men for centuries and continue to do so. For most men, however, it is not part of their armoury. In fact, most are not even aware of it as a potential tool. But let me explain further. Many years ago, I dated a beautiful Romanian girl called Andrea. Andrea came from a humble family in Constanta and was now living in London and studying political science at the LSE. She was highly intelligent and sexy, but not rich and with no social standing. Her mother ran a pub in the East End. Her clothes were inexpensive and her monthly budget was low. But none of this prevented her from attracting some of the very highest value men who would take her to some of London's most expensive and exclusive restaurants and night spots. I myself was hopelessly beguiled by Andrea, leading us into an affair in two parts, which wound up being supremely destructive for me. The subject for a future video, perhaps, or even a whole book. At this point, you might be saying to yourself, okay, so she was hot. Little surprise then that men were throwing themselves at her, and to some extent that's true, but there's more to it than that. Because you see, Andrea had this highly developed talent for self-mythologizing. For making herself appear to be more than the sum of her parts. It wasn't so much what she said about herself as what she implied. You've probably heard the old female cliche, I'm not like the other girls. Well, Andrea had that attitude down to a T. She oozed it from every pore. There was her beauty, yes, but there are also other attributes that she implicitly brought along too. Her sharp intelligence, her cultural appreciation for things like opera and ballet, her political understanding and social savvy. And the fact that she clearly had an almost obsessively high opinion of herself merely sharpened the focus on these things, making men drool over her, including me. She's so gifted, cultured and unique. I'll never find another one like her, we all thought. It is often said that men are only interested in the way women look, but I would respectfully argue that it's actually more than that. Because the women that we fall really deeply for must bring something else to the table. And when I think back on those women with whom I've become most besotted, it's generally those who somehow fueled my fantasies of what a truly exceptional woman should be, while at the same time foregrounding their own scarcity. What do I mean by that? Well, Andrea was good at selling herself, good at highlighting the things that made her stand out from, say, the average Essex girl at the club. She read books, she could discuss Derrida, she liked classical music, she had a dress sense that was informed by the glamour of the 1920s, and so on. She was different. But at the same time, she was hard to pin down and she was a scarce asset. Calls would go unanswered, text messages unreturned, periods of radio silence during which you could only chew your knuckles and wonder if you'd made the stupid mistake of losing the only girl in the world like her. I'm not saying that girls like Andrea employ a deliberate strategy, but a strategy is present nonetheless. They showcase positive or intriguing qualities over and above the mere physical. They display a high opinion of themselves, which in itself is addictive. It seems that when someone thinks well of themselves, we're inclined to buy in too, and they make themselves scarce. These three things in tandem make them intoxicating and see men falling all over themselves in pursuit of them. Well, it worked on me. So what can we men learn from this? That when someone has a sense of their own mythology and their scarceness, that it is hugely attractive. This is why I always tell guys not to give everything away on the first date. Do not be an open book. Do not tell her everything about you. in the vain hope it will draw you her closer to you. It will not. You have to be a little bit mysterious. You have to be, or give them the impression that you are, not like the other guys. You have to be somewhat aloof, and you have to avoid being too accessible. Don't answer messages too quickly. Leave them on read sometimes. Don't be around all the time. Create distance and imply that this distance is somehow connected with your uniqueness. In other words, bait her and make her chase you, or at least make her fantasize about you and hope that you call her. This is really just simple push and pull theory, but it's something men often fail to do, to their detriment, and that women are experts at, to their profit. If you would like to support me and my work, then you can support me on Patreon for just $5 a month. The link is below. You'll get an exclusive video like this one once a week, plus you can ask me questions for future videos. If you'd like a free call with me to discuss your own particular dating situation, then hit the link in the description below. You can also check out my bundle of 11 books about dating, sex, and the dating marketplace called Renegade Dating Blueprint. Again, the link is in the description below. See you next time.